I won't give away all of our secrets, but like Josh has kind of become like a musical director to the rhythm section, and me.
It's a good choice.
Which is great because it streamlines the process of getting on the same page.
Yeah.
To have somebody to be able to be like, hey, let's do this here. You know,
and you trust them.
Yeah,
Big time. Yeah.
And Josh has a really he's talented in that way.
Oh, he's got a good ear for that shit, for sure.
Yes, he is.
In many ways.
Many ways.
He like telegraphs shit live too. Like when we were still learning the songs, he's like starts to dance and he's like coming up to us and he's like, ready?
He's
ready? Pause. Back in. He's like, dude.
So
there's he's really good with nonverbal communication.
Nice.
Like I know exactly what you're talking about right now, and you're not saying anything.
That means we're playing
that nonverbal.
That's why I'm like.
And I think I think without naming any names, that nonverbal communication between a band, cover band or not, doesn't matter, is non-existent in some bands. And I think some of that nonverbal communication that's missing in certain bands that might be of a higher status in this town, that's what makes me just kind of go.
I've been in bands like that. It sucks.
Yeah.
You know, you're looking
but when
around
you can
and
see that,
everybody's
when you can see that little
involved.
twinkle in everybody's eyes, looking at each other and getting those feels, Machine Gun had it when you were there. There were things that you did that the band was just watching you, and it was just like this whole little thing. Every show was different. Yeah. That kind of thing is so cool.
Every moment, that's absolutely.
Yeah.
The best example. Have you ever seen the video of Justin Timberlake in Memphis?
Oh my God.
He was in Memphis just as a patron at this bar. He was actually sitting at a table. He was having some drinks.
Random
whatever.
band playing.
And there was a blues band
They were
playing on stage. Great band. They started doing Tennessee Whiskey. And so he's out in the crowd, and right at about the end of the first verse, he actually just steps up on stage.
He doesn't step. He asks.
Yeah, he asked first.
He has his drink in his hand. He's like, "Can I?"
I mean, he's Justin fucking Timberlake, and he still was like, "Is it okay?"
Yes.
You know, because I don't
If
want
you're
to.
a musician, you're not a drunk karaoke
Yeah,
person. You're
exactly,
like, I'm coming up.
exactly. So he kind
Bingo.
of got the head nod from the guys, and he took the stage. So he starts singing, and then after he gets through a couple choruses, he turns around and literally starts directing the
Directing this
band.
band.
And I mean, these guys went all the way from quiet.
Nice.
And then
that's what Josh does.
he would build them up, and then they would get big, and he would tell them, "I want to go this and that," and he's not saying anything in the mic.
Yeah. Nope.
And they're hitting the ones,
drink in his
and
hand.
boom,
You
and then
just
he
know.
quiets them down, just
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
He's like, boom, and the band stops, and they're going slow now, and he sings a little, and he did it for like 10 minutes. It was unbelievable.
It's such a great
and
video.
these people have never even met. They've never met Justin
Well, a good
Timberlake.
front person helps with that a lot too.
Yeah.
Like that's why I love your philosophy, Aaron, because she's just like, you know, if you want to take like a fucking long solo and express yourself, you know, just give the nod. Like we can stretch stuff out, we can do whatever, and you're always giving cues too.
Yeah,
And like you're not afraid to approach something
Because
differently.
Yeah, it definitely will, because there's always that aspect of just like, okay, how can we make this? How can we? It's already different because we're doing it, but how can we really? How can we really pull the punches? You know,
Right.
Like how do we really get our point across? So it is. I mean, all of us having that, you know, having that ability to lead each other, you know, and to look at each other, and that's the whole thing, knowing each other's
Dude, that
cues.
improvisational shit is what I live for, because it's like if it goes well, that's what I'm like.
Well, that's
"Dang,
when
that
you-
was so crazy.
That's when you become a band that is like an instrument in and of itself.
Yes,
to where
dude.
you're playing the band, just like you would play a sax or play a bass or play the drums. You're playing a band, and it requires obviously the whole band to do that.
There's something about being able to do those dynamics together.
Yeah.
That moves an audience.
Yes.
too.
Yes.
And playing it tight and dynamically. I've been in an audience where I've seen a band do that because they're well rehearsed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just blows my mind, man. It melts my face.
Yeah, man.
And that's what I think that's what we're trying to go for right now.
Yeah.
But I love the fact when there's the band that has this mutual respect within each other, that will listen to each other. I mean, there's obviously a leader, so to speak, in the lead singer, for instance. But if that lead singer is just standing there staring out front and never turns around, never shows anything, then somebody else can take over, whatever. But if there's that, all six of you are just working with each other and having that eye contact, that's so amazing, because it does feel better to the crowd. The crowd enjoys enjoys the fact that you're enjoying yourself.
Yes,
You know,
Oh, yeah.
no matter how it sounds, that's another thing. It probably sounds good, cool, awesome, great. But if you can see something happening up there, and maybe we're just weird because we love music so much, but when you can see something
Well,
happening,
that's the deal. That's
up
why
there,
everybody's there. It's like if you watch a musician, if they play wonderfully, technically, awesomely, but they don't look like they're having
Absolutely.
a good time, it takes something away from the performer.
For sure.
I always say that in my lessons. I always said performance is like the best performance I've ever seen is passion over perfection any
Yes,
day.
that's good.
Any day.
And
That's good.
I
Hey,
want to see something behind your eyes.
Can I add to that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I've always said you can't argue with a guy that looks like he's having the time of his life on stage.
Yeah.
No matter.
I love that.
It's true.
Well, and Norm Jackson used to be the king
Oh
of
my
it.
God.
He was the
Guy.
best. He was the best at it.
Boogie is Norman Jackson's nephew.
Right.
For anybody who doesn't
Oh,
know.
Right.
cool, cool.
But
But he was the best at it. I
He
mean,
was
it
so good.
It
at
didn't really quite matter what was really happening when Norm decided to get in his zone. Then all of a sudden, you didn't even know what song he's playing. You're just waiting to see what he's going to do and say next. It was
oh man,
it was so wild.
that was so attractive to watch. Like
I actually watched him one night down at Just One More. He actually showed Tara up so bad, and it was
really?
hilarious because
Great.
they were doing that song "Give Me One Reason to Stay Here."
nice.
And so
Tracy
they were
Chapman.
taking parts, yeah. And Tara, of course,
Is that
just yeah, it's pink, big pink hit. But Tara, of course, is an amazing singer, and she's just like belting out, da 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 da, going for it. Just she's nailing it, and I'm just like,
first time I'd ever jammed with him.
yeah, this
too.
is great.
Nice.
And he brings it down to the second verse and starts changing the words real time. And he turns to Tara, and she's standing there, just
just
kind
like-
of in her performing mode. And he's just like, I'll give you one reason.
But I was also like, what
And
is he
it's
going to
just
do?
like-
Bring it.
And he looks at her again. He's like, I'll
like,
give
oh.
you one reason.
Okay, Norm, here we go.
Gets up off his stool and starts walking towards her. And he's like, I'll give you one reason. I was like, holy shit,
Here we
this
go.
dude is the king. I think
Yeah.
I even put it on my Facebook one night. Like, Norm
I gotta
Jackson
see that.
is the best frontman
It's
this
not a
town's ever
video.
seen.
Yeah.
He
I agree.
he schooled me
Oh,
big
he's
time
Yeah, and I was like, oh
in
my
a good
God.
way.
Who would expect that though? He starts making up his own words
Right.
and then singing at you,
Oh.
and
Yeah,
like
he would do that all the time.
That's
He was
far
probably-
out.
Honestly, he is the one that brought me out of the shell as a front woman.
Yeah.
Like singing with him because it was
Yeah.
just completely free. It was do whatever you want, baby.
Yeah.
I love you and you sound fantastic.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Just
That's
do it.
great.
Yeah.
And
Rick-
it was so freeing to have and to have God. Yeah, incredible.
It's so
Like,
good.
the
Then
man was incredible.
he turns the third verse back over to Tara, and she's just not
And I'm
even
just like-
singing. She's just like,
I can't. It's like
just
drop mic, mister. Go.
Gabe.
what am I supposed to do with that?
Norman's sax player, Rick Short, asked me to sub for him a handful of times.
Oh, nice.
He
And-
came to a
and-
song pool, Rick Short.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. How's he doing?
This was a long time ago.
Long
This was a
time ago.
long time ago. It's a
I haven't seen him in a while.
Did Norman put you on the spot too?
But one of my favorite things that Norm would say, Norman would say when you're playing a solo, he'd say, "Ooh, I like that," and he'd keep it in tempo with this. Ooh, I like that.
with his voice.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that.
He had a
Sing his compliments.
Yeah. Sing his compliments.
It's such a shame I never saw him.
and he had a
dude.
good knack also of going, it's time for us to take a break.
Yeah.
We gonna be right back. I mean, he wouldn't just go, all right, thanks for no, he would be playing. Yeah, he would put all that. Yeah. I wish we could remember that one line that he said during that was so fucking remarkable.
Oh, when he said, "I'll give you a reason."
Yeah, but it was something
'Cause
else.
He finished that sentence, but I can't
He
remember.
made
what
up
it was.
this whole thing was his own verse. It had nothing to do with Tracy Chapman.
No.
It was so good, and I was just like, I can't. Give me one reason to think. I mean, I got to come back and sing the same shit because I can't do what you just did. Damn, that was good. It was so good.
How'd you guys end the song?
Oh, he ended it.
Yeah.
You're like, you got this, big man.
I'm not 100% sure Tara didn't just leave the stage.
I might
mean,
have.
it was like
Oh, damn.
he just took over.
I might have just left bowing.
He was waiting for you to do that back and forth with him. Whereas he'd do I'd give you one reason.
Oh, we
and
did.
then be
We
like,
did a little bit of
"Hey,
that,
give me
yeah.
reason."
Yeah, that was
There
your
was
first
that.
time
Like,
singing with him.
Yeah.
So you didn't
First
know.
and only.
That's
But
that's what he was looking for.
seriously,
Yeah.
we did do a back and forth, but it wasn't really like it's my turn to do what he just did. It was just a little bit of a given one.
It was just great.
A little
It
back
was
and
just
forth,
great.
and we were done. But
Tune in live every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central.
On the Unsung Screamers Facebook page, YouTube channel, and Twitter.
And check out our Unsung Screamers podcast.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
Ah!